Hey everybody, VR Gaming Fan here. We've been playing around with some various techniques and programs and equipment for recording VR and have discovered a few things that thought you guys might find helpful, especially if you're planning on making your own VR recordings. One is if you're going to use the mic in the headset for the Vive, which Sprite was using in both her recordings. You'll notice in the first one, which was budget cuts, you would get blasts of air at the mic occasionally. I edited out as many as I could, but I couldn't get them all. To avoid that, and you'll notice that in her second video, the Surgeon Simulator, that didn't happen anymore. And this really easy solution. The mic on the Vive headset is just a tiny little pinhole on the bottom of the headset. Just turn the headset over, find that little pinhole, and put a little piece of masking tape over the hole. That's it. That's all you got to do. Makes a great pop filter. It's real cheap, real simple. Next is the issue of if you're only recording yourself, so you're by yourself and you're recording your VR and you're using the mic in the headset, then no problem. But if you've got another person, like I'm generally there and I'm talking with Sprite and back and forth and stuff like that, or if you've got a group of friends over and you want to record them as well, then you're going to need a separate microphone for them. Now, VR is also a very sweaty business, so generally we've got a big box fan that's pointed at the play area, and that generates a lot of background noise. Now, if you're only using one mic for one person outside of it, if you use a high enough quality microphone, you get your settings right and everything, then you can just use that. Like I've got the fan running right now, it's not a problem. And the microphone in the Vive headset, because it's tuned to just the voice of the person using the headset and nothing else, again, it's not a problem. But if you're going to use an omnidirectional mic to pick up audio from everyone in the room, then the noise from the fan is going to be a significant background problem. The way to deal with that is just record a few seconds of silence where the only thing you can hear is the fan. Load it up in editing software like Audacity, for example, which is free software, and under Effects, first select that section of silence, and then go under Effects and noise reduction or noise removal, whichever it is. Go in there, and with that silent section selected, select Get Noise Profile. Then hit Control-A to select the entire sound clip, and go back into Effects, Noise Reduction or Noise Removal, whatever it's called, and hit OK at the bottom. And that will go through and remove the sound profile that you selected from the entire audio clip. And that will not entirely eliminate, but greatly reduce the effect of background noise, and not just a fan, but general background noise from your recordings. Helpful with omnidirectional mics, lower quality mics, or where you have to crank the gain up on the mic for whatever reason. Now, when you are recording the audio coming from the headset, unless the recording software you use supports you being able to record that as a separate stream, like for example I use Fraps. Fraps is kind of old school. If you guys can recommend some better game capture software, I'd love to hear about it. Fraps is kind of glitchy when it comes to newer stuff. I tried using the Shadowplay, I think it's called, from NVIDIA, and I found that to be clunky and buggy, and I didn't like it very much. If you have some other recommendations, fire them off to me. But the way Fraps works is if you tell it to record the input from the microphone, it records it as a single audio track. It blends the microphone with the game audio. If in post-editing you decide, I want to make the voice louder or quieter, I want to make the game audio louder or quieter in relation to each other, you can't. So I record them as separate audio streams. But if I'm going to record the game, plus the microphone in the headset, plus a microphone for myself or for whoever's here, generally Windows and Windows programs don't allow you to use multiple microphone inputs. So what I had to do previously is plug a microphone into Sprite's computer and record my voice on Sprite's computer, Sprite's voice on my computer, along with the game recording. And then I would grab the footage off of the Handycam, and I'd bring all that together and synchronize it all up in the video editing software before I rendered it. To make things a bit easier, I found another free program called Voicemeeter, and meet is spelled M-E-E-T, like meet and greet. And what that software does is you can select multiple input sources, and it blends them all together into a single input source that you can then feed over to whatever recording software you want to use. I use Audacity. So instead of Audacity recording the input from a single microphone, it takes the two microphones are blended together by Voicemeeter, and that's fed off into Audacity. And the nice thing is you can play around with the settings of each individual sound source. So if, for example, I talk louder than Sprite, or Sprite's microphone is more sensitive than my microphone or whatever, so the voices tend to be one is significantly louder than the other one, you can dial those in so they come in at relatively the same level, and so it sounds much better. And also it eliminates one step of synchronization you have to do in the video editing software, because the two audio tracks are blended together, recorded together. You don't have to synchronize them with each other, which makes things a little easier. So just some handy tips on what we've muddled through as far as sound recording issues. We're still making discoveries when it comes to video recording. We haven't started playing with green screens or anything like that yet. We've still got more learning to go. But we seem to have, for the most part, figured out the audio issues. So hopefully future videos, the audio will be of better quality, and I will lose less hair from frustration. So again, if any of you have any suggestions as to gameplay recording software that you recommend, I'd love to hear it. I know Fraps is a bit outdated, but it's what I'm used to. And again, those programs that I use for audio editing and audio recording is Audacity and Voicemeeter, spelled M-E-E-T. Hopefully you guys find this helpful, and maybe I'll see some of you guys posting your own videos. Anyways, again, enjoy VR, and we'll talk to you next time.